Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Agora, Singapore. Today is Tuesday, 2nd of October. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, 6 of you here. Let us start with an introduction. I will introduce myself first. I'm Gay Ban Peng, President of Agora, Singapore. I welcome all of you here. I am an accountant by training, and my passion is in helping people. So what do I do to help people? Number one, I make myself available so that I have time for them, right? So what do I do with the time with people? First, I listen to them. I listen for the purpose of understanding. If there's anything they want to share, they need a listening ear, I will be here. If they have any need for assistance, they tell me, I will do all I can to help them. If I cannot help them directly, I will ask some friends if they can help. So this is my passion, to be able to connect, to be able to help, to do whatever I can to make my community a better place. So each of you, I will invite to introduce yourself, what you do, something about your background, and then what is your passion? What difference do you want to make? For example, I will start with Hector.
Good evening. My name is Hector Petersen from South Africa, Cape Town. I used to be a speech therapist audiologist, and my job was also to help people with problems to be able to speak again. Any kind of problem, whether it was physical or whether it was just functional. So that was my job all my life. I worked for about 40 years, but now I'm retired. So I'm 81 years old. But I love the world of public speaking and to meet new people and also try to help wherever I can. So I try to plow back into other people what I've learned through life. So that is my passion.
Thank you, Hector. Very, very good. I think we have a lot in common. You're helping people all the time, which is excellent. Thank you. What about Shauna, please?
Hello, everyone. I'm Shauna, and to talk about my passion, it has to be something similar, but in a less modest way, to be contributing in wherever I am, in whatever way that I can. So once upon a time, it was as a daughter, and then as a mother, a wife. So, and wherever that I am, that I think it's really people who really inspire me to do things. So I say that maybe public speaking is also a place that I enjoy being, listening to people, to what they do in life, and the changes that they have made around them. It all inspires me, and so I enjoy being here at Agora. Thank you, Ban Peng.
Thank you. Thank you, Shauna. What about James? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, can you hear me?
Can.
I'm an insurance officer in Vital Inspection Center. Like most of you, I also like to help people. Now my main job is to be a filial son, to be a responsible worker, and next week I'll go for interview to be an English teacher. I don't know how it goes up, but if you all got any good tips, perhaps you all can advise lah. And I do like teaching and training. I think Agora has helped me build up my confidence in public speaking, and I'm very grateful for this club.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, James. You are going for an interview to be an English teacher.
Yes, I need good tips next week, next Thursday.
Oh, wow. I wish you good luck and successful interview.
Oh,
Hao Tiang, your turn, please.
Yes, my name is So Hao Tiong. I'm a retiree. I've retired for 16 years now. I spent 48 years working in a medical laboratory. That is one and only job that I held in my life. After retirement, I was involved in some voluntary work. I have two interests after retirement. One was to do voluntary work, and the other one was to learn about public speaking. And ever since I've retired, I've been involved in these two activities. Uh, Apart from 2 years after retirement, I had to do in Singapore what we call the national service. National service is to help my son look after his children. So my initial voluntary work was interrupted because they say charity begins at home. So the home requires me more than my voluntary work. So when my first grandson was born, I spent all my time looking after him until he went to what you call nursery care and kindergarten. Now that first grandson is already 14 years old.
Wow.
So he doesn't need me to look after. And from time to time, we will get together with my son and grandsons for gatherings. And ever since the pandemic that happened worldwide, I have stopped volunteering because in the later part of my volunteering work, I was mainly befriending the seniors in the elderly home. So there's some restriction to home visits and things like that. But since we were interrupted for about 3 years, I have lost my momentum. So I've also stopped this voluntary work, but I continue to maintain my interest in public speaking. And I especially make it a point to attend tonight because we have three very good presenters. One of them, Heta. I look
Yeah.
forward to learning how to have better vocals because I think in speaking, in public speaking, vocals are also very important. So I look forward to learning from you, Heta. Thank you.
Thank you, Hao Tiang. You came to the right place. Hector has many years of experience in teaching and teaching public speaking as well. In fact, she has conducted a few workshops for us. So you can also look at the what we post on YouTube. There are a lot of resources she shared with us. Okay, let's move on. Let's welcome Fleming Chiu. Introduce yourself, Fleming.
Sure. Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, Gay.
evening.
Thanks
Hello.
for sending the link. My name is Fleming Chiu, and my passion in life is to learn. I believe that I can learn a lot of things through my interaction with others, and I am especially looking forward to learning from our three speakers on the three pillars of public speaking, presenting before a live audience, and discovering the secrets to AI marketing. So that's why I'm here today.
You come to the right place as well, Fleming. Tonight the topics are quite wide and very interesting. One I've not attended, listened to was the artificial intelligence, how you use it for marketing. So Stanley Mark is going to present that. I'm really interested. In fact, I'm recording this session. Tim, welcome all the way from Malaysia. I think the connection is not very good, Tim. Oh, you are driving, are you? Okay. Okay, we let someone else speak first. Later on, when your connection is better, then we invite you to introduce yourself. Nurul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you. Let me check if I can actually on my camera, but I think the connection is really good. It's been
Yeah.
a while, Mr. Dick. I
Yes,
mean,
it
yeah,
has been a while.
yeah, but I always wanted to join it, but especially for today, I saw like the speakers and I have time. I'm really looking forward to all the speakers because I actually have um really um I don't know like interest in voice. Like
Ah.
I could like someone just because of the voice. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yes, indeed.
My name is Nurul. I'm from Indonesia. I work in a development agency. But I actually looking forward to be a housewife and um, just you know yeah, like take care of the home and probably start sustainable homemade um, food, something like that. Something like I would love to plan as well. So yeah, that's for me. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Now we will start with one hot topic. Hot topic is one topic that's currently in the news or exciting or interesting, relevant and important. Do any of you has a topic that you feel we should discuss? Okay, why not I give you something? I'll give you something, you think about it. We discuss at 2 minutes each to share. The topic is life is difficult. Life is difficult. You tell us whether you agree or you do not agree, and then share your experience, how you come to this conclusion that life is difficult or life is in fact not difficult at all. Okay, let us start with Hao Tiao. You appear quite senior with a lot of experience. So you tell us, is life difficult?
Yes. I don't know. Apart from Tim, who also has a head of gray hair, among the six, I think I qualify to be one of the most seniors. I was born in Singapore during the Japanese occupation. And during that time, of course, Singapore was much poorer than what we are experiencing today. There was definitely shortage of food. As an infant, I grew up with sweet potato. There was hardly any rice. There was rice. There was very serious rationing. Although I was I was born during that time, but the Japanese came and stayed for a couple of years. Even when I was little, I could remember that. But as life progresses, I think my life at least have turned to be better. And after school, I think for me, life has never been better than any period during my adulthood. In the early days of Singapore, there was no shortage of jobs. I have been able to hold on to my job for 48 years until I retired at the age of 66. But of course, very much depend on how you live your life and what you expect. I don't have high expectation. I held a steady job. I was able to bring up a family, raise a family with not much difficulty. And I'm happily retired, enjoying the environment that we have in Singapore. And I think life is pleasant. It is not difficult. That's how I see life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Hao Tiong. It's amazing. You actually lived through Second World War when the Japanese occupied Singapore.
I was born during that time.
And yeah, so life was difficult, yeah, but it changes. Today, life is wonderful to you. Okay, what about Shauna? Life is difficult.
Hi, Banting. That's an interesting topic. Maybe I'd like to start by saying that the grass looks greener on the other side. So, just a simple thing, like what I want to say is like when I was young, I wanted to grow up thinking that when you are an adult, life will be easier. You know, things will get easier. But then when you're an adult, then you think, oh, childhood was probably much easier. So much more fun and much more this thing. But then something else struck me. Life is the grass is green on the side that you water it. So that's the truth actually, in the sense that it's a I remember asking you once about the meaning of life, and then you told me that it's a journey and the mission is the journey. So I think it's just that it's a journey that you go through, and there will be difficulties and struggles and have joys and so all those things that you come across, and it's just you just have to go through it, and you become a better person. So a better person, or you have your struggles, but then that's what life is all about. And in that process, you find your friends, you find your joys, you find your sadness, and you have a lots of memories, and you gather it all and you go on. So I think it's a meaningful journey, and it's the meaning that you get as you go through it that makes you who you are. So it's beautiful. Life is beautiful. It's meaningful, and it comes with all of that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think I must agree with you, Shauna. Life has a lot of challenges. At the same time, it can be very beautiful if you're looking at the journey and how you discover yourself along the way. So great. Thank you. What about Heta? Is life difficult?
Well, I don't think life is difficult. I also think that life is full of challenges. We have difficulties that's put in our way, but they are all challenges. I was also born in the middle of the Second World War, and we have didn't have much. We were actually rather poor. All of us was poor because there was nothing. We had no rice even in this country, and we grew up so poor. We wore the clothes of our our older sisters, but it was very happy life because we played, we had so much to play with. We played with each other. There were no electronics like you have today. We had to make life interesting by playing in nature and using animals as toys. But I think we learned so much more because of that. Nothing was given to us on a train. You had to go and experience life to be able to get along through life. And I think we learned so much through that, especially physically and mentally. And all those challenges that you get in life actually makes you become stronger. I had a very difficult marriage life, but I had 5 children that I had to bring up on all by myself. But those challenges every time also taught me something. I had 3 epileptic children, one deaf. She fell, her father let her fall and she became deaf. And it was very, if you think of it, it looks insurmountable. But it wasn't. In the end, it wasn't. And they all now have a beautiful life. And I have no worries about them. They all have made it very well in life. And now they look after me and I love all my 9 grandchildren and my 2 great-grandchildren. And I enjoy life now. But I think it's because I had such a rich experience of lots of difficulties, but I can't say it was a difficult life. Interesting.
But you are very special. Do you know that? You raised 5 children on your own, and they all have some difficulty. And then you still say life is not difficult at all. You are quite an amazing, I must say, amazing person. Do you know that in Singapore, I felt that the people really have a very good life, but surprisingly, Singapore is ranked among the highest in terms of number of people who are not happy. The people are not happy, and they rank the highest among, in at least in our part of the world, in terms of the number of people who committed suicide. So the difficulty is really very intense until people kill themselves. I think it's something like 11 or 13 out of 100,000 people will kill themselves every year. It's a very terrible situation. So I thought to them, life must be really difficult to take such a drastic action, right? So you are really outstanding, Hector. Amazing. Okay, let's see what James feel. James, life is difficult. Agree or don't?
Yes. Yeah, I do feel that life is difficult, but it's for us to take it positively or negatively. Can you hear me right?
Can hear you. You talk.
We know, if you remember the story of this little boy who saw this butterfly trying to break free from the cocoon. He thought of doing him a favor, the butterfly a favor by taking a pair of scissors to cut the cocoon. By cutting a cocoon, the rest of the butterfly life, the wings become swollen and undeveloped. But as the butterfly is trying to break free from the cocoon, blood go through the wings and develop the wings. It just cut away the cocoon. The butterfly's wings will never develop. So actually, difficulty is for us to learn to go and take the victory at the end of it. Just like, when I was studying or was going through any training camp during my younger days, the teacher or the instructor will tell us, they motivate us and tell us, now it feels like shit. But when you get your cert, or you go through the graduation ceremony, you look back, hey, it's worth it. See? And so it's for us to look at positivity, to look at at the end of it, go to claim the victory end of it. Actually, when I hear all these suicides, I can relate very well to it, because young time I have a lot of issues. I did fit in with my school friends. I was also an outboard, an outcast, a loner, and but it's I went through a lot. I already thought of suicide a lot of times also lah. But I turned to religion. I turned to counselors. They help to a certain extent But perhaps it's true being a loner when I was young. When I grow older, I learn how to value my friends a lot more. So there's always a positive or negative side to things. So when you got to say that life is difficult, and no, so in conclusion, whatever happens, don't give up, don't persist. Suicide is never the answer to your problem. Yeah.
Thank you, James. I like your analogy very much about the butterfly in the cocoon. Yeah. Hector, have you heard of that before?
Sorry?
Have you heard about the story of the butterfly in the cocoon? That when the person helped the butterfly to come out by cutting open the cocoon, the butterfly will become crippled. Anybody heard of this before? Yeah, that's really, really good. I like the analogy. I think it's true. The difficulty is there for a reason, right? It challenges us and make us strong. So thank you very much, James, for reminding me of this. Now let's invite Fleming. Fleming, is life difficult?
Hi, Gay. Thanks for the interesting question. I was just listening to all the speakers' perspective and opinions on the subject, and I totally agree with their assessment that life can be difficult. However, life is meant to be experienced. I think the difficulty comes when we are exposed to new experiences, something new for the first time, where we don't know what to expect, do not know how to cope with it. And when we can't adjust ourselves to the new experience, we find it difficult. But if we persist in learning, in continuing to expose ourselves to something new and learn how to deal with it, then it will become a pleasant experience. For example, I have gotten my powered pleasure craft driving license
Wow.
in 2003. And in fact, I attended the course in 2015, and for many, many years, I didn't do anything about it. So I decided to go for the theory test, basing on my own notes that I have, not knowing that the syllabus has changed to the fact that more information is added. I studied real hard for it, spent 1 month studying it, and I passed the theory in one sitting. So having passed my theory, I proceeded to book for my practical, because once I've passed practical, I would be able to self-drive a boat. So I went to refresh my handling course, and I spent 14 hours doing it. It was very challenging. I couldn't get the berthing right. I couldn't birth at the initial period, but as I persevered, I found myself improving to the point where I've passed my handling course at the first attempt.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess not giving up in the face of new experiences could actually lead to something beautiful. So life can be difficult at first, but if you persevere in embracing it, it gets better.
I think I have the same experience as you, Fleming. I also have a lot of struggle, and then I persevered. So once I cross a certain threshold, it starts to become easy. right? So, but we must run the distance and clear the difficult part before we can enjoy the fun and easy life part of the business. So thank you for the reminder, Fleming. What about Michael? Michael, is life difficult? Michael? Can you hear me, Michael? Okay, I think he may be too shy to talk to us today. Okay, now we move on to the educational session. Right. Today we have three speakers, each talking on a very specialized area. Hector from South Africa, with all the years of experience in teaching and in public speaking, is going to share with us. The vocal skills, how it makes an impact, and all the details that she bring with us. That's Hector. Second one is Stanley Mark, who is a specialist in artificial intelligence for marketing. He just informed me he will not be able to join the meeting today, so we're going to learn from him at the next meeting, which is give us an opportunity, because I know Fleming has a very interesting thing to share. I like what you're doing, the business model, the opportunity. I'll give you some time. I don't know how much you need, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes to share. And you can even share a slide to show us how exciting the business can be, right? There's an opportunity to share with your friends, even from London or South Africa or anywhere else, because this will be recorded and then it'll be in YouTube. So anybody who come across this, they will be able to contact you to find out even more to how to get started, right? Then the third will be very famous man called Dunstan Chan. Dunstan Chan, I'll introduce him later. He will present another half an hour or so of workshop for all of us. But first, let us start with Hector. Okay, a quick introduction. Maybe it's better I give Hector 3 minutes to introduce herself and her topic. Why is it so important that we should listen to her? After the introduction, then she will do her presentation. Hector has been assigned 30 minutes, so she got 2 minutes to introduce herself and the topic, and then 30 minutes to present the workshop. Are you ready, Hector?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, you can keep your own time, or do you need me to help you?
Right. I'd like to say that what Ben asked me to do today was to say, how do you do public speaking in front of a live audience? Now, last time we spoke about how important your voice is, and I will just mention it again, but participating in public speaking on a stage like this is quite different from when you're in front of an audience, because the audience, you have to engage your audience immediately. And there are so many things that count when you are in front of a live audience that we sometimes forget small things that can give a more emphasis on what we say. And we also forget what is the first impression of the audience. Now, when I would like to ask all of you, what if you walk in the street and people walk past you, which people do you notice? Can I ask you, Shona, who do you notice if you walk in the street?
Okay, maybe it's a person who smiles.
Sorry?
A person who smiles at you.
A person who
It was
smiles at you,
generally
okay?
laughing and smiling. Yes.
Okay. So it's you immediately are contacted with by the person's attitude, right?
Yes.
Somebody who smiles at
Open.
you. What would
Yes.
you say, Chu? What would you say would you notice?
Fleming.
Fleming?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
If you walk down the street, any street, and people walk past you, which person would you notice first?
Oh, yeah, the one with the smiling face and the one who maintains eye contact.
Sorry?
The one who maintains eye contact and the one who smiles.
Okay, so you also see the smile and the eye contacts, same as Shauna. What would you say, so?
So Hao Tiong.
So?
Hao Tiong.
Your mic is not on.
It should be the person's attitude, his movements.
Attitude and
attract me.
movements. Okay, so most of you are attracted by the movements and the attitude of the person. Now,
Yes.
I would like to share my screen. This stage. Let me just see. Why can't I find it now?
Are you able to share?
Okay, there. Can you see that? Let me just
Yes.
move this.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me just get it at the first screen. Okay, I would like to talk to you about presentation skills in front of a live audience. Now, as you all said that the attitude of the person is very important, but I want to give you some other examples of what actually attracts the attention of the audience when you are introduced as a public speaker. Now, let us look at presentation skills. What is important? Now, the very first one is manner and appearance. Okay, I'm going to first talk about manner before I go to appearance, but then the next one is your body language. Then there is your eye contact with the audience, and we have your voice. Now, those are all the stuff that is important when you do a presentation in front of an audience. Now, I want to start at looking at your manner. If you approach the audience, now it doesn't start when you stand in front of the audience. It actually starts when you get up from your chair. Many people do not think about that. But when you are called to speak, it is important that you don't scratch your chair on the floor, that you get up in a brisk manner. If you're too old that you can't stand up without pushing onto something, please push on your chair and not lean on something else to get up. And don't look too tired when you get up. You must get up and look as if you are eager to come to the front. The best way to get your posture right straight away is to try and become as tall as you possibly can. Because the moment that you try to be very tall, you pull in your stomach and your back becomes straight. And that is the way that you have to walk to the podium to talk. And you must remember that is your first impression that you give to the audience when you approach. The next thing is that your connection with the audience. That is why we say when you do your speech that you have to have a very good opening. An opening that would say something about your own personality. Now, I am very outspoken, and I am actually not scared anymore like I was when I was a child. So I would sometimes shout something like "Bochum," like a baboon, but it does not fit somebody else who's very quiet. And so you have to find an opening that fits your personality, but still makes contact with your audience so that they immediately feel that they have a connection with you and they want to listen to this person. Your facial expression, everything that's in your opening will start the first connection with the audience. In the second place, you have to be enthusiastic about your topic. If you are not enthusiastic about your topic, nobody else will be. And therefore, you have to show energy. It doesn't matter how you feel. You have to put all the energy and enthusiasm into your speech so that the audience can actually connect with you and feel the same. Just as you people say that you feel the connection with somebody who smiles at you when they pass you. Now, that is exactly what somebody who speaks to an audience must immediately present. The next thing is that you have to be direct. Don't ever make statements that you're not very sure of, or that sound as if you are not very sure of, or that you don't really believe in. You have to, what you say must be something that you yourself believe in. Otherwise, it will not come across to the audience as something that's important. And you have to have assurance of what you say. So if somebody asks you a question, you must be able to answer that question with sureness, so that they know what you mean. But let us now take a look at appearance. What is important when you stand in front of an audience? Now, we have grown up now in the sloppy stage. I call it the sloppy world. Because if you look at people walking past you in the street, or you look at somebody who is in a shopping center everywhere, people look sloppy. They don't care what their hair looks like. They don't care about what they wear. And I find that people even do that when they go and do a speech. Now, there are things that are acceptable, and there are things that are totally unacceptable if you want to become a public speaker. Now, in the 80s and 90s, you would not have been allowed to speak in front of an audience if you didn't have a tie and a suit when you're a man, and a woman had to wear a sort of a suit with a jacket. And that was acceptable for speakers. Now, we've gone a little bit more slack in that way, but I will show you a picture of what you may wear when you do public speaking. Any of those, I really had to struggle to find pictures that are suitable. But that is the kind of dress that you have to wear when you do public speaking. Some of you are more formal and will still wear a tie and almost a suit or a jacket, which of course is always the best if you don't know what to do. And a neat, we would never have worn trousers as women before the 90s. But nowadays, it's almost all the women wear trousers. So, but if you wear a neat one that at least looks like a neat pair of trousers, it is excusable. And you can wear a neat top as long as it's not a t-shirt. Now, what is not acceptable when you go and do a speech? For a man, if you come and stand in front of an audience looking like that, with a t-shirt and your hand in a jean pocket, it will not be acceptable. unless you do it at a braai or at some informal session at a sports club. But you don't talk to people in front of an audience if you look like that. That is also not acceptable. It might look very sexy to some people, the cap on the head and the white t-shirt and the tight jeans, but it is not acceptable for public speaking. You don't wear a hat when you do public speaking, even if you are bald. You also don't come with a t-shirt. It is not acceptable. What if you're a woman? A pair of jeans tight fitting around the bum is not acceptable. If you have to wear a jean and you like to cling to the jeans, then at least your top must get right over to your hips so that you don't see the bum when you walk. It is people think it is okay, but it is actually not okay to come onto stage with jeans and a t-shirt in no circumstances, unless you are at a sports club. Another one, the worst one, of course, is dressed in a dress with shoestrings and holes and too short. Anything that you would wear for very that you think that you look very nice in, that kind of dress is totally unacceptable. So if you want to make a good impression when you do public speaking, please go and I've made a whole lot of things of do's and don'ts, and I can put that onto the website. But please be very careful what you wear when you go and stand in front of an audience. Now let's look at the next thing, posture. Now, we don't want somebody who's just a statue of liberty. That means somebody who stands rocked to one place, no movement, and just stands there and talks as if they can't move and as if they have no life in them. So that is not a good posture to have when you do public speaking. If you look at the next one, a rag doll, we have too many rag dolls that look floppy when they stand in front of, they lean on a lectern or they hang to one side, lean on one leg, or even just stand on around like a rag doll. Another one that we call is a giraffe. That's again somebody who doesn't want to look at the audience, but picks up the chin and looks over the audience. But that looks like a giraffe who doesn't want to face the audience. Let's look at another one, the hand movements. That we call the fig leaf. We always said that's a fig leaf, as if you want to hide something. We used to have a fig leaf. So you don't cross your hands in front and let it hang down. You do not belly hug and walk around like that, because that posture looks too strained. And many people, if they don't know what to do with their hands, they will cling their belly like that with folded hands. Another one is what we call the bum bouncer. At many schools, we were taught to hold the hands behind the back, but that makes you start swaying. So it looks almost like somebody who's bouncing on a ball. And you don't realize it, but I know that often happens when you put your hands behind your back, and that's when you bounce. Or you can do the beggar style, when somebody holds hands in front and talks like this, and all the same way. So stay clear of that. Now let's look at somebody else, the facial expressions. You get some bulldogs that always looks cross, and you can hardly use his face to do any proper expressions. Then the next one is that there's often somebody who laughs at themselves, but because he's always laughing at himself, you can hardly hear what the person is saying, and we call them laughing hyenas. The other one is the sad dog that shows no facial expression and talks in a very monotonous way with a very sad face. So, and we don't think about it if we don't actually try to make it funny so that people can remember it. Now, your voice, of course, is your instrument. It is a window of your personality. It echoes your emotions. And it also, if you want to, it must express warmth. It must be forceful and lively. And it must be expressive, not monotonous and all on the same pace and going like that for the rest of the evening, because you will let people fall asleep. It must be audible. It must have enough volume and clear articulation so that you can hear every part of the word. But you may not raise your voice, shout like that to try and let the people hear you. You have to learn how to use your voice correctly to increase your volume and not shout. Okay, let us look at what do I do to get good voice. I need good breath control. That I've already written, and I put it on the website the previous time on our WhatsApp. You have to have duration variety. You have to pitch variety. You have to have volume variety, good resonance of your voice so that it can carry properly. And also, you have to be able to use pauses. And if you can do all that, then I can now stop sharing the screen. How do I do that? I can't see where I can stop screen. Where can I stop showing that just now? Oh, there it is. Okay. Those in a nutshell are the things that you have to look at when you do public speaking. So I would like people to ask questions about what I've just spoken about and see if there's anything that I can add. Anything that you differ from, Ben?
Yeah, thank you. I want to express a different view in terms of how you dress when speaking at on stage, for example, right? Because you have very definite ideas on the dress code, for example, no t-shirts, no jeans, no tight jeans and certain clothing and stuff, no hat on your head. I've seen quite a number of speakers, whether in TEDx talk, that kind of thing, where they are dressed rather casually. I wonder, it's because you and I are old people, we prefer the old conservative way, and the world has changed so much, or is it another reason? Can you talk to us about this?
There is definitely another reason. I know that it's people are more casual nowadays, right?
Mm.
But if you ask people, if somebody comes to ask for a new job, very often the person that is best dressed will often make the best impression. Why do we say that? It's the way you dress is the respect that you show to the audience. It has nothing to do on of how you yourself feel. That must not be how you measure what you wear, because you may feel totally comfortable in jeans and a t-shirt, but you have to think of every single member in that audience, and you have to make that person feel that you respect him or her. And if they are our age, we will immediately think, oh, this person doesn't respect us, right? So, and you might have different kinds of people in the audience who have different ideas about what people look like. Now, it's not that I say you look bad in jeans and t-shirts. Some people look very well, but it's the fact that casual wear, any kind of casual wear, does not respect an audience. And that is what you say when you do not dress at least properly. It need not be a tie and if you don't like a tie and a jacket, but as long as you look neat enough, like you would go to see your father, or how you would look to go and see somebody that you respect. You have to show the same respect to the audience. That is why how you dress is actually quite important.
Yeah. Thank you, Hector.
Does that answer the question?
It does. It does. I think the fact that we make an effort to dress properly, it does convey the message that you are important, right? I'm dressed to look neat and good for you, right? And I'm serious, I'm earnest about my presentation. So it makes a difference in terms of audience perception of the speaker, definitely. Then they know you put in so much effort, then of course they will receive the speaker much better. Yeah. I have a second question, Hector. What is the difference in dress code, for example, whether you're speaking in front of a live audience or like what we are doing now in Zoom? Does it really make a difference? Do I need to dress?
There is no difference. I sometimes hear that people come to Zoom meetings dressed in a top that's presentable, but they sit in their pajamas. Now, why do I find that odd? If they have their pajama pants on, because they think nobody will see it. It has got something to do with your own self-respect. How do you want me to see you? Even if I just see your face and your hair and your top. If you come and sit here with hair that hangs over your face and that's not even combed, or you get up and I see that you have pajamas on, it will make me think a little bit different about you. But it's all about self-respect. Whenever you perform any duty in front of public, I don't care what kind of public it is, any kind of public, you have to have self-respect first, and then you have to respect them. I have found in this, when I was working, that the people that are the most critical about how you dress are children between the age of 4 and 7. I used to have to wear a uniform at work when I worked in a clinic, but I tried to wear a blouse and a handbag and shoes that are the same color. And you know how many little girls would say, oh, look at this and look at that. And the reaction to you becomes more positive. And school children usually like a teacher who is well dressed and whose hair is well done. They hate sloppy teachers. That I can tell you. So it's the reaction of people that when you look sloppy, they think of you as you have no self-respect. So why must I respect you? And it works very very well with children, and people don't realize it. If my children would have died if I came to school with sloppy shoes or anything like that, I would never even try, because they would never even recognize me at school if I would come looking sloppy. So, do you disagree, Shauna?
I agree, especially the part where you said about the children. Children being very aware of how the teachers are dressed and people generally around them. Yes, and everything that you said, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I had a very good example many years ago. I used to run a evening lecture for HR managers in London. And that was about 1990, I think. And at that time, image was one of the topics in discussion. And I invited a lady who was an image consultant to come along and talk to us. And she turned up really immaculately coiffured, earrings, necklace, Gucci scarf, really, a very flamboyant jacket, blazer, red blazer, blouse, fantastic skirt, shoes, the works. And when she walked in, she looked like the bee's knees and was very, very attractive, visually attractive. And then she spent the rest of the hour undressing. Don't get excited, guys. All she did was she took off the paraphernalia. The earrings went, the necklace went, the scarf went, the red jacket that she was wearing went. And in the end, she was standing there with black skirt and a white blouse. And she should have been holding the tea tray because she looked like the tea lady. But from walking in, she looked like she owned the company. And then within 30 minutes, by taking off all of these accoutrements, her image went right down. And that was a remarkable visual experience. Yeah, really remarkable how people's perception changed very quickly because of what she was wearing. So that was really, really good. So thank you for that, Heta. That's so true.
And, I know, sorry.
Yeah, I'd like to share something as well. I think first I want to thank Mike for the very, very good illustration, the example that she quoted of the lady who walked in dressed immaculately, but when she do the dressing down, she's not doing a good service to herself or to the people in the room. Yeah, the expectation is like shattered, then people lose confidence, right? I'll tell you my own experience. Now, you see me, I'm wearing quite neatly with my long sleeve shirt and my necktie and my hair neatly cropped and comb up. Why I do that? Because it is business, right? Now, a lot of the time, people need to feel comfortable, right? They must feel you're authentic. You represent a brand, right? You represent the brand of an accountant, somebody whom they can count on, somebody whom they can trust. So if I don't groom myself properly, the perception is if you don't care about your own image, I have doubt that you will care about my image. All right. So I got to make sure that the impression I set meets their expectation, the audience expectation, whoever I'm meeting, that I mean business. I am serious. I am earnest. You can trust me. I'm reliable, right? I care for you. I respect you. I want to do my best for you. So that's a message when you groom, the way you sit, the way you stand, the way you groom yourself. It sends out a message. And what you say, Heta, about the grooming, about the body language, it really is very important, cannot be underestimated, definitely. Thank you, Hector, and thank you, Mike, as well.
I just want to say something about Mike, you know. Look, Mike, you're about the same age as me. I am, eh? Mike?
You're much younger than me, Hector.
No, but you're in my age group, right? Now,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
time
but
that Mike comes onto the screen, I want to see what kind of shirt he's wearing, because he wears such interesting shirts that he manages to draw my attention. And it is so different from many older men that start wearing sloppy clothes. And I want to congratulate Mike because he somehow manages to have an interesting shirt on that shows me that he's not a little bit mental already. He still takes interest in his own clothing. So I want to use him as an example.
let me add a little bit more to the story, Hector. When I was in civilized world, when I was working out of London, I always had a immaculate shirt, branded shirt, cufflinks. I was a specialist in cufflinks and ties. And every day, yeah, I was well dressed. And then I came to Indonesia. And here the culture for dressing is slightly different. What I'm wearing is batik, is a hand-printed fabric. And there are hundreds of designs you can imagine. And I have about 300 expensive silk ties somewhere in the house in a box, and about 200 expensive shirts. I haven't worn any of them for the last 15 plus years. So now that I'm retired, I can do what I like, and I do what I like, and I like wearing batik. So this is my trademark. Most people in Indonesia wear batik on a Friday as a special day event. And they all know Mike wears batik every day. It's very unusual to get me in a photo not wearing batik. And as you say, they're all distinctive and they're all fun. I enjoy it. And the only thing that we have to worry about here is for formal events, I wear a long sleeve batik. But for all other events, and particularly when AC is not available, I wear what I'm wearing now, is half sleeve. Yeah. So this is very, very simple. Yeah. And it's for me is ideal. Yeah. Very flexible, and it's colorful.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that it's an individual, you use your individual taste,
yeah,
but you look neat in whatever you wear. You don't wear a shabby old thing that doesn't fit you and just hangs around you. That is the whole problem, is that you have to feel comfortable with yourself, but also have self-respect. And when you have self-respect, you show that to other people as well.
Very true. Very true. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? There's one other thing that I would like to say is that when the movement on the when you do public speaking, I know in Toastmasters and all those places, people have started to walk around like hyenas on the stage or in front of an audience, running from, and the Americans like this very much, running from one place to the other. But they really look like they attract the attention or distract your attention from what they are saying. So if you want to stand on in front of an audience, you put your feet at least about 30 centimeters apart with your hands hanging beside your body. And from there, you can use your hands any way, in any other way, and it's always available. And your feet, if you want to move, put one step forward and then come back. A step to the other side and come back, forward or sideways. But do not run around from one side to the other. And unless you have a very big stage, then what you may do is, if you want to express one idea, you walk to a place on the stage and then stand still and express that one idea. And if you want to walk to another part of the stage, you first walk without talking until you stand still again, and then you talk again. That is actually the way you should do it on a big stage. But if you're not on a big stage, on your usual way that we do public speaking in front of an audience, you stand still and and with your legs about 30 centimeters apart, but you don't hang on to one hip or stand to the one side. You stand up straight with the hands beside your body, and from there you can use your hands and your body, but you stand still. So please don't run around like a hyena. That's my other point that I would like to make.
Yeah, thank you, Hector. I agree with you. I think prancing around the stage aimlessly does not really add value to the speech. There must be purpose, and the movement must be purposeful. Thank you. Is there any other thing any of you wish to ask Hector?
Can I say one other thing?
Yes,
I
please.
know it's fashion nowadays not to use a lectern, because people don't want you to use notes, but there are times when you have such a big speech, especially businessmen or people that have to give a lot of information to an audience, where you have to have notes with stats on it, or certain things that you can't remember all in your head. You need to have the stats in front of you, or you need to have the facts in front of you. The way you do that, you stand behind the lectern, but you stand also about 30 centimeters away from the lectern. You don't lean on the lectern like that, and you don't put your one elbow on the lectern, and you don't have big sheets of paper. You write all your information on cards, not bigger than that, and only with the information you need. And you put that on the lectern so that you can stand away from the lectern and just glance at the card and be able to speak. But you don't have to always go and stand in front of the lectern. I think it's quite acceptable to stand behind the lectern if you need notes. But you have to use the lectern then correctly. Not lean on it, not hang on it, or have big sheets of paper that you have to turn, because the microphone picks it up and it is very irritating. So any papers that you have to page through is a no-no in a speech. You have to have things that you can put down and just glance at and carry on speaking. I don't know if you would like to say something more about that, Ben.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you, Hector. You are a treasure trove of ideas for public speakers. So we are very blessed to have you with us. Almost every session, you bring something good, something insightful to us. So I'm really very grateful for you sharing all this. And I'm also very glad to inform everyone that if you miss anything, you can always watch the video later in YouTube. And I'm going to do that myself because I'm very interested to see all your slides as well, how you bring your idea together, how you present. And the pictures you use are really something new to me, like the different posture I didn't know that when you put your hand in front of your body, it's like a fig leaf trying to cover something. Or yeah, if you put your hand in your pocket or something, it means something else. Or if you wear the clothes with the strings, I'm not sure what you call that, the string kind of dress, a little bit revealing, it convey a different message. So I didn't pay so much attention, but the way you put it, it helps me grasp it a lot better. Thank you, Hector.
Okay, what I would like to do at a different stage, and what Alex wants to do us to do, is to do a workshop on presentation on this medium, on the internet, because there are lots of rules that none of the people ever follow, and it's quite a lot of things that you have to take into account if you want to come across very well on this medium. So I had to do one for Toastmasters. So I will send you a little bit of that, so that we can possibly do a workshop on that.
That will be excellent. That will be excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because there's lighting and where the microphone is, where your camera is, all of those things have an influence on how you come across to other people on the other side.
Thank you.
Especially if you want to take part in a speech competition.
I mean,
Hi,
the other
Tim.
thing, sorry, Bampang. The other thing that comes to my mind is, in this day and age, we're so used to watching movie stars that when anybody gets on a stage nowadays, we really need to get into that other world. Yeah, you cannot just stand up from the crowd and deliver a speech. Yeah, you really, people are expecting more from you because you are standing on a stage. So you need to take the location, yeah, you need to take the gravity of the situation, and you need to basically perform. Yeah, you need to accept where you are and what people are looking for. Because people are looking for guidance, they want people who have expertise, and you have to get that image over that you are an expert in whatever you do. I've just had my cataracts removed, and can you imagine how I would have felt going into the operating theater where the chief surgeon was wearing a holy t-shirt, frayed jeans, and Donald Trump sneakers? Yeah, I would have been appalled. I would have thought, what the hell am I doing here? I would probably run out of the hospital. But, you need somebody that looks the part. They need
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really wonderful example that you have quoted. Okay, now let's move on to the next workshop. The next workshop is not going to happen because Stanley Mark cannot join us tonight. Yeah, so he sent his apologies. Now, is there anybody who have any special idea that you think can benefit us all by conducting a short workshop, maybe 15 minutes to 20 minutes? Do you want to do something, Mike, or do you want me to do it? Or Tim, do you want to do something, Tim?
I'm brain dead, Bampang. I'd let you do it with pleasure.
Don't know whether it's going to work or not. For one, my video is not working. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit soft. You need to speak a little bit louder, Tim.
I'm using the wrong headphone then. Well, I'll speak a bit louder. Can you hear me?
Excellent.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Excellent.
Very good. I don't know whether it will work or not because it's my first time. I was tinkering on the idea of doing evaluation workshop. So
that would be fantastic.
It's going to be 20 minutes, not too long. I wanted to squeeze it into my meeting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to present, if I can, share screen of a public speaker, and you can learn something from it. And the idea is to listen and then evaluate the speaker. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so you can continue while I set up.
Okay. How much time do you need to set up? I will prepare a short speech, present a short speech, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll do that. When you're ready, you can jump in anytime, Tim. Now, I want to present a very, very short presentation on something very important. The topic is how to make people like you. Why is this topic important? When people like you, big problems become small problems. When people don't like you, small matter get blown out of proportion and you get into very serious trouble. When people like you, a lot of things can be done. You can get more customer, you can get more work done because people like you, they help you. Your business will grow. But when people don't like you, you can be the best accountant, the best doctor, the best engineer. Many people will sue you. Example, there was a case reported in a book that I read. The insurance company, that was about maybe 30 years ago, they were trying to decide who they should insure and who they should not insure among the medical practitioners. Common sense tell them you get the most famous one, those most experienced, those professors, you insure them because they are the most skilled. But those who are not highly skilled or sufficiently experienced, don't insure them because they'll get into trouble and then you have to pay the whatever compensation. Now, as it turned out, it doesn't happen that way. As it turned out, those who get sued, quite often they are highly skilled. In fact, they did nothing wrong, but they get sued because the patient don't like that doctor. So in the case of a surgeon who did the operation, he did not do anything wrong, but the operation went wrong because maybe the anesthesia guy or the guy who read the x-ray in those days gave the wrong diagnosis, right? So something went wrong. Then they sued the surgeon and the insurance company was shocked. So and then at the trial, the lawyer asked the patient that this doctor did nothing wrong. Why do you sue him? It was this other guy, right? It's very clear. But the patient said, to everybody's surprise, I will never sue this radiographer. Is it called radiographer?
Radiographer.
Radiographer. Why? Because I like him. He's such a wonderful guy. I will never sue him. But this surgeon, he was rude to me. He was disrespectful. I want to sue him, right? So it's very important to make sure people like you. My own experience was, there was a fruit shop. There are, I think, 4 fruit shops within 5 minutes walk from my home. There was one particular shop that I will never buy anything from. He has the best fruits, the most fresh and the wonderful, lovely looking fruits, but I can never buy from him. You know why? My wife said, don't ever buy from this man. Many years ago, during Chinese New Year, my wife went to buy mandarin oranges. And like most housewives who go marketing, they will ask about the price and ask for a small discount maybe and want to compare the shape and the size and the color, right? And the man was very busy. So he told my wife off, show her off. And from that day, my wife never liked him. And I'm not allowed to buy anything from him. So that is the case, my personal example of you must make people like you. All right. So
All
is
right.
that, yeah?
Point taken. Can I just start and see whether it works or not? All right. Do you see a man on the screen?
Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Pang,
Yeah.
trainer, speaker, and also Toastmasters champion.
You're not
Last year I
sharing
won
yet.
the evaluation championship for District 85, which makes me a national champion in China. And today what I want to share with you is how I give evaluations and how I won that championship. So evaluation is probably, in my opinion, the most important speech you'll ever do in Toastmasters. The reason why is because it's the part where you actually are giving value to somebody. It's where somebody actually has the chance to grow and improve. A lot of times, though, what I find is that people often give empty evaluations. They also forget that evaluation is like a performance. Here are my 4 techniques on how you can really give an effective evaluation that's not only going to wow the crowd, but also give some really concrete feedback that's going to help your speaker grow. So the first thing is, you have to remember that evaluation is a performance. A lot of times what I see is that a lot of people make the mistake of speaking directly to the speaker and ignoring the rest of the audience. They say, Diana, I thought you did a great speech. I really liked the part where you did this and that. And then all of a sudden, the entire room feels ignored. They begin to go to sleep. They begin to look at their phones. And honestly, why shouldn't they? You're ignoring them because you're forgetting that evaluation is a performance. Here's a better way to do it. The bad way would be, Diana, I really like the way your body language was. Your body language was really good. Versus, ladies and gentlemen, the most impressive part of Diana's speech was her body language. Notice how her body language brought this story to life. So as you can see here, the first way I did it, I'm talking to the speaker directly. I'm not really making it for everyone. The second way, I am addressing the entire audience and performing for them. I am making this evaluation for everybody. Not so just one person can benefit, but that's so everyone in the room can. And remember to make your evaluation a performance. The next thing you want to do is you want to go deeper. A lot of times people simply scratch the surface. They never go deep. They simply state the obvious. And that doesn't really mean much because when you state the go deeper. Ladies and gentlemen, notice how her key message is perfectly in line with the rest of her content. This is perhaps the most important thing you want to do when you are beginning to write your speech in Toastmasters. When you start with a very strong yet simple key message, it becomes very easy to align content A, B, and C to follow towards that key message and ensure that everybody knows what you're talking about and really make your speech come to life. So as you can see there, I've gone deeper. Instead of stating something very simple and obvious, I've tried to go a lot deeper to provide some extra value. And especially when it comes to contests, because when you're competing in the evaluation contest, you usually have 6 to 8 people that are probably going to say the same thing. So the deeper you can go, the more unique you can be, the better you're going to be on the judges' radars. Next is to give examples. It's one thing again to scratch the surface and to say, she has great body language. Simple, whatever. But to give examples, to go deeper, this is showing that you are an expert. And what that means is that you know how this speech could be done better. And not only do you know how, you're going to show us that you know how. By showing this, you add a lot more credibility to yourself as an evaluator. And this way also, the crowd, the audience, can also see your demonstration of how this could be done much better. Let me show you an example. Now, the simple way would be, she has great body language. Versus, notice that as she gets angry In her speech, she begins to clench her fists. She begins to scrunch her face. You can see in her body language just how angry she is. And that's important to do when you're trying to express emotion in a speech. So notice what I did there? The simple way was to simply tell you she's got great body language versus giving the example and showing how it was actually done. Now, what I just did there was to highlight what was already done by an example. Now, what you'll often have to do is remember, you're trying to help the person improve. So here would be an example of how we could show them an example of how to do it better. Now again, the simple way, without any example, would be to say, I really think you could improve your vocal variety. A lot of people say, I really think you can improve this, I really think you can improve that. But again, show us an example. So here's how I would do it if I was going deeper and giving an example. As I heard your story, you told something very sad. A story about pain and suffering. But I noticed the entire time that you were smiling and you sounded quite happy about it. That is wrong. What are you trying to tell me? I would suggest that instead you implement more vocal variety. If you're trying to tell a sad story, speak slower. Speak lower. And don't have strong, cheerful body language, because this is a sad moment. So ladies and gentlemen, notice that example there. I point out the problem, and I point out why it's a problem, and I demonstrate how it could be done better by giving an example. So again, give an example how it should be done. That's going to make you a lot more credible. Everyone's going to learn. You're simply not just talking about something, you're actually teaching something. Last, ladies and gentlemen, is to use your time wisely. Now, you don't have a lot of time. And often what happens is that somebody goes to the stage and say, let's give that speaker a round of applause. 15 seconds have passed, 20 seconds have passed. Wow, I really like that speech. 30 seconds have passed. Let me talk about the good things about this speech. All of a sudden you say a bunch of good things that everyone already knows about, and okay, let me talk about the improvements. Ding! And your time is up. You need to use your time wisely. So again, you have very limited time. Essentially about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes to give your evaluation. My suggestion to you would be to fit the following in there. First, you have an opening line. This always gets people's attention. Next would be one highlight of this speech. Next would be 2 things the speaker could improve on. And last, if you have time, a summary and recap. Now, I'm not going to
Okay, that stops it. And what I need from all of you is just a couple of points, but you're not supposed to repeat what the previous evaluator, all of you are evaluators today. You're not supposed to repeat any ones that says, well, I like to add to that something. Please don't repeat the points that's been covered. I will start with Dunstan. What would be your 2 points of evaluation for this evaluator?
For this particular
The
evaluator,
nice,
well,
the simple one or the deep one?
yeah, I think it's very interesting that you asked me that question. It was on my mind. I was listening to the speaker, and it obviously he's a very good speaker. He's a performer, and he's a contestant, and he's a champion. My own experience in Toastmasters, I don't know about Agora as well, is that my approach to evaluation is very different. I do not see it as a performance for the crowd. My loyalty when I give evaluation is to the speaker himself. So we look at evaluation more as a counseling. You see, the poor fellows who are speaking, new speakers, they may be shaking in the boots. And you want to demonstrate how good, like this guy is so good, you know. My own experience is that a lot of people said, oh, I don't want to join Toastmasters because you guys are so good. I wouldn't dare. Now, this is the first challenge we face. Our loyalty is to the speaker. So whatever we give to them, don't overload. Because if I listen to this guy, he's so good. If I had been a novice speaker, I would be scared. because he's giving so many things. It takes me 10 years to learn the thing. So my point is this. I differ in terms of approach. He's very, very good. My point is that our loyalty, firstly, when we give evaluation in a club situation, is to the speaker, not necessarily at the first instance to the audience. That is important, but I'm trying to help somebody who's so scared to get through it. So if I were to unload on him my eloquence, he may not want to turn up again. That's my approach here. And I think it works. Now, I'll give you one example is this. We call it progressive learning sometimes. And as a diving instructor, I'm very clear that we have to teach step by step because they have fear in the beginning. And the problem is that at the side of us by the pool, there may be some people who are very good diver. And they start telling the new divers, you know.
I am.
What? Somebody's there? Hello? Anyway, somebody at the side will be telling, who is a very good diver, telling the newbies how to do it. But the fellows may not be ready to accept your fantastic feedback. You know. So my approach is that I think our loyalty is to the speaker and we try our best. Right? And I do not want to demonstrate too much to the speaker how good I am in respect to him. I would say, yeah, I have this fear with you, and then things like that. Anyway, he's a very good speaker, fantastic, and I would use a different approach.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dunstan. Now, how about Heta? Do you follow Dunstan's approach to evaluations? What are your 2 points? The time allowed is 3 minutes, by the way. So forgot to say that. You only have 3 minutes. Heta?
Yeah. I think she cannot hear them.
Oh, all right. Now, who can? What about So Hao Tong? Tiong?
Tiong.
Or what about Ban Ping? I've seen
The
you
main
shut on your
thing that the evaluator has to do is to pass comments, whether the speaker has done well, what are the areas that the speaker has done well, and what are the areas where there is room for improvement. And I will agree with Dunstan that as an evaluator, you are not holding the stage. Yours is just to critique. Yours is not a performance. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next one. What about Flaming Chew? What is your opinion on the evaluators?
Thank you.
Hi. I thought he has actually done a very good job in doing an evaluation of giving an evaluation. He did it by giving a compare contrast of how someone has done it and also suggested ways in terms of how to improve it. So I think that him giving a performance is an education to all of us in the room, not just to the speaker itself, because as an evaluator, although the job is to evaluate the speaker, he could also share his observational points with the audience so that we, as the audience, we would know what are the areas that the evaluator is looking out for in evaluating our speech and how we can actually improve further in our speech. So I do agree with the evaluator that it has to be a performance because you're not speaking just to the person, you're speaking to a whole group of people. But maybe it would be nice if he could just tone his performance down a little. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Flaming Chew. Now, Ban Ping wants to speak. Now,
Yes, I do.
of course, there are two approaches, right? The Toastmasters sandwich way, or this way, or maybe the Agora's way. Over to you.
Thank you, Dunstan. I do it very differently. My approach is how do we make the speaker help him become effective, right? So to do that, you got to start with understanding why did he speak? What does he want to achieve from speaking, right? What is his purpose? You got to nail that down very clearly. For example, his purpose may be to want you to buy his product or buy his idea or buy his philosophy or whatever. So the test is, would you do what the speaker wants you to do? If you will not do it, or you will say, oh, I will do it, but maybe 10 years later or 10 months later, for example, then he has failed the test, right? So I got to help him be effective in that when he wants people to do something, at the end of his speech, people will do it. But if his purpose is simply to inform you how to cook Hainanese chicken rice, how to draft a speech, how to do this, how to do that, that's fine as well. Then what is the test? The test is people must understand, people must remember what he said. If at the end nobody remembers what he says, he failed the test. If people don't understand what he say, he failed the test. So you must help him pass the test in the speak to inform speech as well as a speak to get somebody to do something kind of speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now I move on to E.T. Elos. Can you share with us your views on evaluations in general? Elios, the mic is yours. Please unmute.
Don't think he's here at the moment.
Yeah,
Is
I
he?
think
Oh, yes.
only screen is showing. What about yourself, Mike? What's your views on evaluations?
I think basically evaluations are very fertile grounds for discussion. The purpose, obviously, of an evaluation is to give the speaker your undivided attention and to give him or her feedback on how they performed. It's very easy to fall into the trap of using the stage time that you have got as the evaluator, to tell your favorite stories and your life history and all about you. And all of a sudden, the speaker is not in mind anymore. So I think you very concentrate on the speaker. And what are we trying to do for that speaker at that stage in their career? I think if you have a icebreaker level entrant speaker, obviously tender gloves. Yeah, you want to be really very much more conciliatory, supportive of that speaker. Don't go in hard. Yeah, but if you come up with an old bird like me or Ban Peng, yeah, I mean, beat the hell out of us. If we're doing something wrong, we need to know about it because we obviously have been told hundreds of times in our previous existence, and we've chosen not to do anything about it. So yeah, we need a little different treatment depending on the ability or the experience of the speaker. But basically, I mean, the evaluation doesn't matter who you are as a speaker. Yeah, you deserve feedback. I actually joined Toastmasters 26, 7 years ago. After many, many invitations to attend, I never did, like we all know, doesn't happen. But eventually, somehow, I got to the Toastmaster meeting. It was in Bromley, the Coach and Horses. Anybody that knows English culture, this is a public house, somewhere where you get alcoholic beverages. But anyway, I went. We're sitting in cinema style in the audience. And I went there not for me, definitely not for me. This was for my colleague. Yeah, it's for somebody else. But I went there really, honestly, was this an organization that I could send some of my training managers to? That was in my mind. Not me. I was already 50, whatever, 3, and I could speak forever. And I didn't think I needed any help whatsoever in public speaking. But anyway, I went along, and after about 20 minutes, the penny dropped. You need to be there. You need to attend this group. Because being the boss, nobody would tell me you're getting worse and worse. The more you speak, the more boring you become. You don't tell your boss that, but I needed to be told it. I was doing the same speech in UPS around Europe 50 times. Yes, I was getting bored. And I could feel inside of me, yeah, I needed to buck my ideas up. But I didn't know how to, and I really didn't think I needed to. Yeah, nobody would say anything, I would just carry on. But being at a Toastmaster meeting, it showed me the value of evaluations, doesn't matter how old you are. And that's the reason I joined. I was a Toastmaster 24 years and got a lot of value out of it. And then Agora came along, and I saw a lot more potential value of Agora here in Asia. And that's why I've
Yeah, Mike,
happily...
I love your evaluation, but I think we have the time to consider. So I'll move on to the next speaker. Hector, can you contribute? If not, I will just wrap up this with my 2 cents. Hector, are you ready to give your comments?
Comments on the evaluation.
Yes.
I think evaluation is very important, but I really feel that it's something that you must give to the speaker. I don't care what the audience thinks. They can listen, but I mean, I really feel that you have to be very serious and very honest towards the speaker, and give them enough recommendations so that they can build their future on. It is not something where I am the most important person. The speaker is the most important person in evaluation, and I have to, even if I have to say things that make me less likable, I have to be honest with the speaker and give them enough value that they can build from whatever I say, and also give them a summary of what I think they can work on. So I do not see it as a performance from me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Heather. Now, to me, I will just wrap it up with saying that thank you all for your contributions. I'd like to hear from you again. My interpretation of this whole idea of process of evaluation is first and foremost to get the speaker and the evaluator together, decide what they want out of this evaluation exercise. How do they want to see themselves improving? Then the speech is given, then the evaluator, after the speech, will give his evaluation. So there's a pre-evaluation, there's a speaking time, and there's a post-evaluation. I think that's very much more important in this whole process of evaluation. We give evaluation to everybody, actually. Sometimes it's called uncalled for comments, and maybe sometimes it is. So with that, I will hand back to Ban Ping. I think my session is over. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I like your presentation very much. I think your closing remark was really meaningful in that we ask the speaker, right, what do they want? So that we can focus our effort. We don't want to, because there are millions of things to learn every day, right? So we need to focus on what he wants at this stage of his journey, instead of telling him what we feel he should know. So I think it's a good feedback. I appreciate that, Tim. Next meeting, you share more with us, Ken.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I apologize for my screens and my video cam is just not working. My face is not appearing. Sorry for that.
That's fine. I think the thing worked out very well in the end. Okay, next is the last speaker for this evening. We are very privileged to have once again one of the most sought after expert in public speaking, coaching, training, platform speaking, competition speaking person in this part of the world at least. I'll give the speaker is none other than Dunstan Chan. Some of you are new to him, so there are many aspects of him that it will take me a very long time to introduce him properly. So what I'll do is I'll let Dunstan introduce himself for say 2 minutes so that he can focus on the area which he wants to share about himself. Following that, he has about half an hour to present the workshop. Thank you, Dunstan.
All right, thank you, Manpeng. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Very well.
Yeah,
Very
good,
well.
thank you.
Yes, very well.
Just before we start, because we are on the topic of evaluation, which I think and Tim would know, I think Mike knows, we've been in this organization for donkey years, is that evaluation is the most important aspect of Toastmasters or Agora for now meeting. And therefore we have to look at it a bit more seriously, not just kind of passing remark like this, because your evaluation can make or break somebody, right? And this is why I have a different view as far as evaluation. So I do not like evaluation as an evaluation contest, because in a contest, you want to impress other people. But I always look at evaluation as you are a counselor. You are trying to help somebody who may be really nervous and all that, right? So that is one thing. But I just leave this question. Those of you who have been in organization like this, have you ever come across a situation where somebody said, nobody dare to evaluate so and so because he's too good? You see, I always get that situation in the last 30 over years in Toastmasters. The people say, oh yeah, I cannot evaluate him because he's too good. Therefore, if you are putting forward yourself as an expert, all right, therefore nobody dare to evaluate because so and so is a distinguished Toastmaster. I'm just a newbie. How can I evaluate you? So this is the challenge we face over the years, you see. So I like Heda's idea is that we have to always remember that when we evaluate, we are actually a personal counselor for the person who's trying to help, right? So we tailor our evaluation for the needs of that person, not to impress the rest of the audience. That is my view. I mean, I feel very strongly about it because I have come across people as being killed off by too good an evaluation. I've seen it happen, because you're so good, and then it's, oh my God, I can never be like this, and I don't want to join. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'm just getting it off my chest anyway. And all right, can I share a screen?
Yes, please proceed.
Is that it? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, just click
Hello?
the green button at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, I know I do, but
You don't have?
No, I don't either, Manpeng. I think you need to set it up as a host.
Okay. Do you see the green
it on
button
now?
now? Yeah.
Yeah. But where is the?
Is that shared by you, Dunstan?
Yeah, can you see this?
Yeah, it says Zoom, right?
No, it says who can cover a greater distance.
No, I
You
think
see a
you click.
PowerPoint there? No?
No.
That's funny. I'll try again. Stop share. Look, it says stop share.
At the top.
Okay, I'll start again. I'll
Yeah.
share. All right. And I will share this one. Can you see it? There.
Yeah, we got it.
You can see it now?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, we got it.
All right. Okay. Going to be pretty short, about 1 hour. So I'm going through very quickly. A few months ago, I cannot remember how long ago, I did a sharing with you guys talking about who can cover a greater distance called the two communication. I mean, walking with two legs, I think, or something like that, right? So I was saying that which is easier to do? Is it walking with two legs or one leg? And that was supposed to be leading to this particular sharing, talking about the whole brain communication, which I talk about the question of left and right brain communication. In other words, when we speak, we have to take care of the fact that we must utilize both brain communication. That's been the left brain, generally speaking, analytical and all that kind of thing, and more scientific, whereas the right brain is more visuals and imaginative and all that, emotional, right? So that I shared with that, and I was very proud of it because I thought, wow, that's great, huh? So I call it the 2 pillars of communication. That was 9 months ago. I think I came up with that thing, even though I've been running this particular workshop for quite a while. Then I discovered, oh, wait, the reason why I talk about the importance of having this whole brain communication and walking with 2 feet is that not only should we, as speakers, I think it's very important for us, that as speakers, not only we must wow the audience. We also should have we have a lot of logic in what we're sharing, right? And this was this term, excuse me, this person, I seem to recognize him from somewhere. I just picked the picture from the internet. I think you know who he is. But anyway, we have this expression in the past called the snake oil salesman, right? Now, snake oil salesman, the Chinese also have this expression. We don't call it snake oil. We call it, those who understand Hokkien, they call hai kao yu. Hai kao is the sea lion oil. So we always have this Kung Fu master go around and sharing to us this fantastic oil, which can cure everything. But because he's such a good speaker, right? And he really mesmerizes you with his stories and his voice and everything else. We believe him, but actually it's nonsense. It doesn't work, right? So I do not want us to develop into snake oil salesmen where we're very good in speaking, but we also kind of talk nonsense without them knowing it. That's why I was happy to develop the idea of the whole brain communication, right? That's mean the 2 pillars of communication which we have is, one is logic, the other one is emotion. And you talk about stories and all this. These I've been talking about. So 9 months ago, I came up with this idea, the 2 pillars of communication. I was so great. I was so proud that I came up with this idea. Then I discovered that 2,300 years ago, a man, right, contradicted me. I didn't even know that. He said, no, it is not the 2 pillars. Actually, proper communication should be 3 pillars. Wow, I've not been following this. I was late by 2,000 years. He said the 3 pillars are ethos, pathos, and logos. I was all the time talking about logos and pathos, all right? But the importance of arousing the emotion and touching them in their heart, and also give a truth in what you're saying. I was concentrating on that, but then Aristotle came out. I mean, he didn't come. He came out with this 2,000 years ago, ethos. So I'm going to focus only on ethos because you know what are the 2, pathos and logos, which we have been trying to do all the time in our speeches. So this is ethos. This is a diagram of Aristotle, which is a very old thing, right? So if you look at the left side, on the right side, pathos and logos, we already talked about it, right? But I want to concentrate on ethos. Ethos means for you to speak on a subject, I think you should have certain credibility. And so that people can trust you. Now, if you look at what some Banpengs wrote about me in his WhatsApp, I get scared, right? But he hit the nail on the head to a certain extent because he tried to introduce to me as a person who can share with you certain gem of wisdom. And then he said why he has that, right? And let me show you what he put in. Firstly, he said I was trained as a barrister because we're talking about communication. And then he did mention something that I used to own a publishing consultancy in London. And I was a champion speaker. I took part in speech contests and all that. I did win. And I'm also a writer, which I do now. I write every week. I publish it every week. I'm a trainer of different workshops. And very importantly, which a lot of people didn't realize, is I think diving instructor. And this is genuinely my credential. I'm not bragging about it. I'm saying this is it. Now, does give me certain ethos, create me the ethos? Does it give me certain edge as being a speaker on communication? I think so. Just because I say it doesn't mean because I'm proud. I'm boasting. I'm saying that this is the fact. So look at it. I'm now sharing with you some ideas about communication. Number one, I was a barrister. I was called to the bar in 1975, which is a long time ago. As you know, a barrister is a lawyer who appears in court, right? We earn our living by speaking. That's all. It's simple as that. Therefore, for me to survive in a career as a barrister, I must be able to communicate and speak. So I have certain experience so I can share with you that when you speak, you got to do this and that. I can share with you rather than I've read in a book that you should have vocal variety. No, in my own experience, I knew that. Right. So I have that credential. Secondly, I was a publishing consultant, meaning my job was to look at somebody's raw manuscript, to read it, and then give them some advice, and then get it edited and all these things. So it's talking about communication skills there in a written form. I was a champion speaker. Yes, at one point I was crazy about public speaking. I joined all the contests. I won all of them, I think. At least at the district level, I won an evaluation contest, humorous contest, and impromptu speech or table topic, and international. I did do that. That was 20 years ago. I've gone away. I'm a writer because I write consistently. I've been writing since 2008. I produce the article every week. So which means when I said I want to share with you some experience as a writer, I'm not saying, oh, I wrote 2 articles, I can do it. I've written 500, published 500 articles. So it's painful, but I can share with you, right? As a trainer, I run a number of things. But the last one is I'm a diving instructor. It's very important because a diving instructor is not just a trainer. Because once we pass your test, you pass the test, I give you a card, a license which you can dive everywhere. And diving, as you know, if you're diving, you're playing in a hazardous situation. Or I don't say dangerous hazard. You're under the water. You're not supposed to be under the water. And if you got one you to swim, he was given the new skills and all that. But no. So I have to teach and make sure you know. I cannot simply say just because you attend my course, you pass. I must make sure you know. So that kind of credential maybe will give me certain what do you call this ethos in terms of speaking about communication. So I'm focusing on that, right? Now here comes like this. Anybody know this guy is called Les Brown, right? Les Brown is very famous and he's a motivational speaker. He always talk about how you can grow big and all these things. I think one of his keynote speeches is called "You Step Beyond Your Limitations, Don't Focus, but Go Beyond Limitation into Greatness." That is he says. So fantastic. So he can now. Why do I show you this picture? Somebody did tell me if you want to be a motivational speaker, when you drive to the speaking hall, to the conference hall, do not drive an old beat up car. You should drive in a big, beautiful car because I'm going to tell you how to be successful, how to make your million by the time you're 35, So I must come up with big cars and all that kind of thing. So that is supposed to give you the ethos of being somebody who can teach you how to be a millionaire. So with my car. Now comes here. I can tell you from my own personal experience about a guy, I think his name is Andrew Go or something. He's a speaker for some insurance company. So in one of the conference of the insurance industry, I was one of the speakers. Andrew Go was the other speaker. And I was very impressed by him. Not initially, right? It took me a few slides before I realized how good he was. The first slide he showed, right, was him sitting just like Les Brown, but he has two big cars beside him and a big house behind him. He was a Mercedes and a BMW, and then he got a big house. And then he showed, this is me, right? This is my house at the background, and this is my car, and this is my cars, right? So I would say, yeah, he's going to share with us how to become a millionaire. Everybody was listening. And I was a bit skeptical. This guy is just showing off, you know. That's when he tell us how great he is. But what moved me is that he showed the second slide. This is the second slide he showed. You know what it meant? He said the first slide of him standing in front of two beautiful cars is now. But he said, when I was 17 years old, all right, I didn't go to university and all that. I had to work as a construction worker, almost a child labor. This was me. I mean, this is not me, but he showed a picture of himself. Then he went on to relate his story. That one day they received a call from a dato, right? In some rich areas, said that the roof is leaking at the back in the kitchen there. So his boss sent him and his friend, right, two boys, to go and repair the roof. The roof is at the back of the house. So they came to the door and he knocked at the door, and there was the lady of the house, the datin, was there looking at them. Yes, he said, well, we come to repair the roof. And I was saying, yeah. But then the datin looked down and looked at the shoes, so dirty, and shouted at them, right? Don't come into this house. Huh? Your shoes very dirty and all this. And because they are being poor boys, they're so scared of this big shots lady. So they said, oh, yeah. So he said, walk around the house. So and take off your shoes. So they took off their shoes. No, they just walk around the house. As we're halfway to the house, to the back of the house, the window opened and the Latin looked out and saw them with the shoes on walking on the grass. And she shouted at them, saying, take off your shoes. You know, your shoes are so dirty, it dirtied my garden. And they were really shocked because for poor people walking around with shoes or dirty shoes is not a big deal, right? But you have to understand, if you're in a very rich house, sometimes your garden is so clean that a worker with mud on his shoes walking walking over the grass is a sin. So the Latin was shouting at them, and they were so scared and took off their shoes that they walked barefooted, right, until they reached the back and then they climbed on the thing. And he said, this speaker said, at that time, I look at the datin, I remember, I reflect on my situation then. I said to myself quietly, one day, I want to be rich. One day, I want to be rich. So what's a big deal? Everybody wants to be rich. But then he said something. But I am going to be nice. I am going to be nice. And this is why he went on to talk about his own experience, how he came from very, very poor background to become a multi-million-dollar speaker, right? And this person gave a very good example of what ethos is all about. A lot of people will tell us how you can be rich, do this, buy houses, then borrow money from the bank and all this kind of thing. This fella shared his experience from very, very poor person. Suffered a lot of, what is the term? There's a term of people looking down on you and all these things. But he managed to crawl his way. Claw actually is the word. Claw his way up. Very difficult. It's not easy, but he shared with us his life story. And up to now, I still remember him. And I'm very impressed. So what I'm saying is this. Nowadays, you hear on the internet everywhere about people, you can be this, you can be that, you can be rich, you can be this. But some of these people just maybe they read a book and tell you how to be rich in 50 ways or something like that. But when somebody has gone through the mud and reached the top and willing to share with humility, that person really has the ethos of a speaker, of on communication, on whatever you want to talk about. I just want to end up here very simply is because I observe, which is again relating to that. I'm glad that Tim brought up the idea of evaluation and all these things. I observed that I've been attending the Agora meetings for a long time, and it's always a few of us speaking. Me, Heta, a few others, right? Sharing our gem of wisdom with you. But maybe that is because of this particular meeting. But actually, essence of Agora and of course Toastmasters is the same. It's the same is that you learn by doing. You learn by doing. And this is why when we earlier on, I'm glad that Tim brought out the idea of evaluation. This is the idea, is that when we start, we have to do. And we only dare to keep on doing in spite of our weaknesses when we start. That there are good people who wants to evaluate, share with us how to get up. And this person who give us the evaluation have our what you call this, our feeling in mind. They know that they cannot tell you everything, but they tell you and they see you. It's a journey. It's not that one of wisdom given to you tomorrow you become a good speaker. And I told these stories before many times, and I'm still going to tell it because I'm going to end with this particular idea. Is this? I told the story about how I have a friend by the name of Abeng, and I live in Kuching. We have a river running through the city, and Abeng lived on the other side of the river, right? And his office is across the river. So every day he has to take a boat, a little boat we call the sampan, across, right, to get to his office. And he does this every day. And then one day, as he's in a coffee shop, his friend was asking him, "Hey, Abeng, you cross the river every day. Huh? Can you swim?" So Abeng said, "Well, I don't have to swim. I have a very good sampan. No problem." Right? So one day, as he was crossing the river, the storm came and the water is getting into the boat, and the people were panicking and they thought they're going to die and sink. But so they bailed water out of the boat and eventually managed to get to the other side. And Abeng was totally shaken, and he said, "Wow, I must learn how to swim." So from then on, he went to the library. He attends a lot of seminars like ours, how to swim, and learn. After 3 months of listening to lectures, reading books, he said, "Now I know everything about swimming." Right? So one day, as he's coming back, another storm came, and in the middle of the river, the storm came, and they were panicking, bailing water. But Abeng was standing there, very smug. He said, "It's okay. I know everything about swimming. No fear, no fear." So he jumped into the river, and he was drowned. So the point is this: you cannot learn how to swim without getting wet. That is my point. There's the same point I make in Toastmasters and the same point I make in Agora, is that the reason why we have this regular meeting organized by Manpeng, is that we want to give all of you the opportunity, all of us the opportunity to learn by getting wet. At the moment, the only people who are jumping in the river and getting wet is myself, Tim, Heta, and a few others. I hope everybody would come. I hope not. And this is my hope for Agora as well. And I feel that maybe I will just leave it like this. I think there's something we can suggest here. When we are running this kind of talk, like sharing by somebody who has certain ethos on the topic, right? Sharing, we should open it to all the Agora clubs in the world, because this is an online thing. There's no reason why the South African cannot be here. There's no reason that Abu Dhabi's people are not here. We have one session, we have one specialist club like this, which is sharing, getting the best ideas from different parts of the world and share. But the real test is the one which Van Peng is doing is the one in Singapore, I think, isn't it? Where you actually, I don't know, I have not attended that meeting because it's in person, all right? Where you are the speakers, where you listen to the educational talk by people in session like this, and you try to apply it. Of course, you may make mistake. All of us make mistake. That's where the evaluator come in, help you, and then you go on. And that is my vision for Agora, right? Is this, that we have to go back to the basic, learning by doing, with good feedback, continue to do. And in the meantime, you also have educational session people who give you tips so that you can practice it. I ran, for example, a few months ago, a talk about vocal variety, about using your voice. I think Heta also, unfortunately, I was not able to attend her talk about how to improve your voice and all these kind of things. These are more technical, which is fantastic, right? And I yet to see people trying out those vocal variety in their speech. We should. See, because I'll talk about in vocal variety, you have the variety, you have voice, you have all these tone, stress, and all these things. Try it. Not just listening to me saying it, or any one of the gurus here can say it. Try it. Of course, you may not be perfect. All right. And that's where the evaluator comes in. The evaluator will help you. Say, okay, can you try this other thing? Try it. So that's my hope. And sorry, my speech is actually not very much importance in terms of techniques. I think the techniques you all know. The only lesson I give here is this. In public speaking, there are three things: the ethos, the pathos, and the logos. I've covered before that when you speak, you can be very good as a speaker, but there must be grain of truth in that. That is our aspiration as a speaker. Right? We're not going to be the snake oil salesman. Right? That's what. But now, Aristotle brought in the idea is that for you to be able to speak on a particular subject, it's good if you personally have that experience. And unfortunately, I was unable to attend the session by Heta because her experience as a voice trainer of many years of voice trainer, there's something there we can learn from her. And my experience as a communicator, well, I don't know how good or bad, but is that I actually have experience of 40, 50 years. In this way, I earn my living by trying to communicate, right? I think there's something I can share, but it's not enough for you to know. Just like Abeng, it's not enough for you to know about how to swim, about the theory of swimming. You must know how to swim. So with that, I leave it to you. You can give me feedback, whatever it is, but my wish is that I think Agora is a fantastic organization. I wish that maybe we can develop into a way where two types of meetings. One meeting like this where we share ideas from people who has experience that can share. The other meeting is where you and I and all of us, all right, give it a try ourselves. With me, somebody said, why do you want to continue in this club? You have gone through all those communication experience. Why? I'll tell you my selfish reason. All right. The only reason why I keep on, whenever Ben Peng asked me, can you speak? I said yes, because I know by speaking I improve myself. I make a lot of mistake in my training program sometimes, but by doing it, I will improve. That is my personal reason I joined Agora. There's no reason for me to be in Toastmasters or Agora anymore. I passed my career 10 years ago, isn't it? Or maybe more. So it's the same. My message to all of us here, if we can hear it, is that please listen to what you heard here. Give it a try, and you'll be surprised. Right? So there you are. I'm sorry you may be off track for what it is, but I give it back to you, Ban Peng.
Thank you, Dunstan. That was the best takeaway. Go to the basic. You need to be a practitioner. If you want to do public speaking, just like if you want to be a swimmer or a diver, or a lawyer for the matter, you need to be a practitioner. No use having a lot of titles and certificates and diplomas hanging on the wall if you cannot operate and successfully treat Mike Nicholson's, what is that? I think you call that glaucoma, is it? Yeah.
Glaucoma, cataract.
Cataract. Yeah, cataract. If you cannot do that, it's no use having a lot of certificates hanging on the wall. You must be able to do that. And
Absolutely.
if you represent me in court, it's no use having a lot of degree in law if you cannot defend me or help me succeed in my case. Same with public speaking, same with swimming. You must be the practitioner. And what Dunstan say is, get wet, get into the water. Otherwise, you will never swim. Right? Knowing all the theory will not help you. So I think that's a wonderful takeaway for all of us. We are all in a journey. We are all in the pool, thrashing about. Sometimes we get water into our lungs, but that's the only way to learn. You cannot not get wet and be a swimmer. Yeah, thank you, Dunstan. Anybody else?
My
Yeah.
friend, can I just say something to what is it? I'm looking at the screen, I can see Fleming Chew, and I can see Shona, I can see Hao Tiong,
yes.
James, Tim, I
Tim.
know from before, yeah. And there's another guy from Indonesia, yeah, Elios. I've not heard them. What I'm saying, I have not heard them speaking yet. Shona?
E.T. needs a long time to prepare. I told him there's no need to prepare. You just speak what is in your head. You got plenty of experience.
I have not heard from these guys yet. Huh?
I'll book you for the next session.
Is that E.T.? Is that E.T.?
Yes, sir, I am.
There is a workshop. I mean, there is an educational thing. We talk about how to write a speech. I can give that, but the point is no point giving you if you're not going to do it, isn't it? We have the whole program of how to look for topics, how to organize your speech, how to speak. All these things is there. I can give you even one day training on that, but the point is there's no use unless you are prepared. I've been talking about storytelling, right? How important it is. People say, yeah, good, but I've not heard any of you telling stories. You know what I mean? It is an organization which is where friends helping friends to improve. But we can only help if you take one step forward, and dare to suffer the onslaught of an evaluator. You dare. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people are afraid to speak is they're scared of evaluation. So I try to allay their fear. Look, it's me giving out my hand. I'm not better than you, but I try. I'm not trying to impress the rest of the room. I'm not in a contest. So sorry, that's my gift. I feel very passionate about this because I've been in this organization with a few of you been here for a long time, over 30 years. Yeah? I've seen how people go through this. So please, maybe we can think seriously about this, is have a specialist meeting like this, which Ben Peng said, where he get a lot of people to share ideas. But the other meetings would take place where you actually speak. And I hope you do that. And then you will see the improvement. Huh? Okay? Sorry, I have to get it off my chest. Sorry, back to you, Ben Peng.
Dunstan, TM is starting a Agora club in KL, which will be more basic. Yeah, it will be people learning the building blocks of becoming a good speaker. This club of Bampeng's, I see very much more as an advanced Toastmaster Agora club. Yeah,
it's a training club. Yeah, for the trainers. Yeah,
yeah,
I understand.
And they have a different community. But there are
Yeah.
many people, obviously, who are at the beginning of their career, need to learn the building block. So, that's what we're doing on every Monday night, 9 o'clock Malaysian time. So we started last week.
Is that
It's
in
just,
person, your meeting?
sorry?
Is your meeting in Indonesia in person?
No, this is in Malaysia.
Yeah.
This
And it's
is
not in
virtual.
person, it's online.
It-
So
Yeah,
I
It's
thought,
online. That's
oh,
okay. I think that's one beauty of online is that you can actually speak. But therefore,
Yeah,
the physical distance is not a barrier, It's already
no.
there. Huh?
that's the whole idea.
Yeah. So,
But there
your
will be, hopefully there will be face-to-face meetings, coming out of that. So I think once we've established Malaysia as an Agora country, it is not yet. Yeah, then there will be opportunities for meetings in other locations as well as KL. So watch this space, as they say.
sorry, thanks, Mike. I'm sorry to dominate this. What I'm saying is this: with the development of technology, now online meeting need not necessarily be only educational talk. I've
No,
attended a lot of other clubs where other organizations we actually do online meeting where they present. né? So there's no
yeah, that's what we're
excuse for us
doing.
not to present online. You don't
Yeah,
have
that's
to
what we're
wait for
doing.
it to happen. Yes.
No,
And
we're already. That's most of the Indonesian clubs do that already.
that's
Yeah,
great.
people are going through the basic education
Yes.
program,
Yes.
project by project. So they're
Yeah.
starting. Yeah,
Yes.
this club is very, in a way, unique in Agora, in that there are many more people with a lot of experience coming together and sharing. And that's really, again, for me personally, very exciting, very beneficial, and enjoyable. But yeah, we do need people to, go through the training that we did many years ago. Yeah, to start. And we're doing that. We're already doing that. So Indonesia, all of the clubs are basically in that mode. I've just started 6 new clubs for, believe it or not, nurses. We are meeting in Jakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, Tangerang, every lunchtime. We're having meetings from 12 o'clock until 1:30. And initially, it will be hybrid. But again, I mean, the nurses are meeting virtually in their own hospitals. So there are 20 in some clubs. I've got one club tomorrow, 49 people in Tangerang. So, the numbers are quite significant and they're all committed to attend. Yeah, they've all finished a 1 hour pre-enrollment examination, English examination, verbal, written, hearing. So it'd be interesting to see how they develop over 3, 6, 9, 12 months. But yeah, that is a online, not online so much, online because I'm in all of them, but the participants are going to meet in their own facility, face to face every lunchtime, or once a week, in 6 different locations. So yeah, it's already, I'd say it's already happening. But all of the youth clubs.
Sorry, guys. I don't mean to kind of belaboring, but I'm asking: are there online clubs in Malaysia, Singapore? You said Indonesia is where you actually get people to speak, not to listen only.
Yeah, no, the one in KL that we've just started with TM is
Tim?
online.
They're
Online.
speaking, right? They're not
They're speaking.
you,
That's the
me,
intention.
and Banpeng giving a speech, but they themselves are speaking,
No,
right?
they're actually speaking and working their way through the projects.
Perhaps you can share those
We
links with
don't
it. I don't mind
have
listening.
that in Singapore yet. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the other Singapore club that's a real live situation. Yeah, again, I mean, people are delivering speeches there. And that normally from the photos, I've not physically been, but they look like you're having 20, 25 people attending, each month on the 3rd Thursday in a hotel. $5 Singapore for venue cost. But I mean, you've got to get wet, as you say. Yeah, you cannot learn to scuba dive and do it just from the manual. You have to get wet. Yeah, you have to go and do it.
Fleming Chew, are you in any club where you can have a chance to speak?
Me
Well, I'm a,
personally. Oh,
Fleming Chew. Her
yeah,
name is
I'm a
Flem.
Toastmaster with Bukit Merah Toastmasters Club.
So you do give speeches there.
I have not been giving speeches for a very, very long time,
Yeah, I know.
primarily because I mean, I have not had anything interesting to say, so I'm still developing. Yeah.
I don't
That's the
believe it.
same.
You've got to say.
That's the yeah. That's the same excuse with the Indonesian ET guy, is it? I mean, I run a program, for example, called Speech Writing Made Easy, all right? And I always find that the same, not excuse, the same reason given by most people is this, oh, I cannot give a speech, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know how to say, but that's precisely, when you run a program of helping you start from zero to giving the speech. It may not be perfect. You only find out when you actually deliver the speech. So why don't we can do that as well? My point is this, sorry, I belabor this point because I've been observing this for a long time, is that we can have two types. Since Bampeng already, this particular meeting, this particular one which Bampeng has is where you get people who are experienced to share ideas. But we should start building clubs where they can actually practice those ideas. Would it be good if we can do it? For example, I hope you can give a talk on using the three pillars of public speaking, your ethos, your pathos, your logos, and then you share with us. And then, of course, we may not score 100 points in the beginning. We may make mistakes. That's why the evaluator will help you to bridge the gap, and it will grow from there. Yeah. Anyway, I've made my points, and I back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Dunstan. Thank you all for sharing. We have come to the conclusion of tonight's proceedings. Is there anything you want to share before we sign off?
Just an invitation to come along next Monday at 9 o'clock Singapore Malaysian time, and come along to Agora KL Achievers, which
Is it the
brand
Achievers one?
No, this is it is Achievers, yeah, but it's KL Achievers with a Z at the end, Z at the end. I have a youth club in Jakarta which is Achievers, but it's not that that club. But the club that Tiem's starting is for people to physically deliver speeches. That's what we're working on.
Yeah, instead
So
of
we
just
need more
geographically
people.
instead of geographically putting as KL, I was thinking
Yes.
as MY. Actually, it's
Yes.
Malaysia.
Malaysia,
But I think it
okay.
also sounds like my achievers, so dual purpose.
Yeah. I think that's the point. I say that we forget about the old school days where we have to meet each other to speak.
Yeah.
The technology allows us to speak in a club in Abu Dhabi, in South Africa. Yeah. So I really hope to see that kind of thing happen, And so I would like to attend the one you talk about the achievers there, and just to listen to other people speaking. Yeah. And as a
It's
speaker, you
early
know very
days
well
yet,
that
Dunstan, but please do come along.
yes.
Do
Just
come
let us
along.
know where you have your meeting, where we will attend. For me, I will attend as a listener.
Yeah, Mike, you send the invitation to the Agora Singapore chat group.
If we can have that,
Sure,
yes.
we can do that. That will.
Yeah, whatever meetings, Hector as well, and Tim and Dunstan, whatever meeting you like to invite us, just post into our chat group.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we do that, then we can have a list of meetings online where we can listen to people speaking.
Yeah.
And
that's a great
one
idea.
last point, Bampeng, I just said is, as a speaker, as a professional speaker, what is the thing which we feared most? Is lack of audience. All right?
Yeah.
That is what we're afraid of, is it? So if you have a new club where people are not much confident, they want to speak, they're scared. So if we go and listen without making very insightful remark. Just listen. They'll be very appreciative that the
Very much
people are
so.
listening to them. Yeah, if we can
Very
do
much
that,
so.
we have a list. Then I will try to attend as many as possible just to listen. Yeah. But if you want to invite me to speak on specific topic, that's a different ball game. Like this one is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you're very welcome, Dunstan.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the first Wednesday of next month.
Sounds great.
Okay, bye-bye. Wait, take a
Bye.
picture. Take a picture. Hold on.
Take a picture time.
Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
No picture, no meeting.
Okay, one more. Thumbs up. Wait, this side. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
See you
you.
next week.
Bye. Yes.
Hopefully see some of you on Monday.